Hi, welcome to Open Door Yoga. My name is Michelle, and this short yoga class is focused on the hips and the shoulders. You shouldn't need any props today. However, we will be coming into a half splits posture. And so if you are feeling really tight in your low back and your hamstrings today, you may want to consider having a low support surface with you. I have yoga blocks because I think I'm going to need them. But if you don't have yoga blocks, no worries. You could also position your mat in front of a low coffee table, or maybe even the seat of a kitchen chair or dining room chair. As always, you may want to consider having some type of a comfort prop. We'll be spending a little bit of time on the ground. So if you're on a hard surface like me, you may want a little bit of cushion for your knees or maybe a cushion for your head at the end of practice. So feel free to grab a folded blanket or a folded towel, and let's get started. We're going to get started in hero's pose. So if you're seated on the mat like me, make your way over to your hands and knees. We will bring our knees to touch, toe mounds to touch, and then slowly sink our weight down into the seat that we're going to create with the V of our heels. Take a moment as you get settled to notice how this feels in your body. This posture can feel uncomfortable in many bodies, and if that's the case, you've got some options. You could grab a lift, whether it's in the form of a yoga block or maybe a folded blanket or folded towel, and just separate your feet a little bit wider and bring that lift under your sitting bones. So you're going to be up a little bit higher. It's going to take a little bit of the sensation out of your knees and out of your thighs and the linings of your legs. If none of this feels comfortable, you could always take a comfortable, easy seat, whether seated on the mat or even in a comfortable chair. Wherever you're starting this practice today, let's bring our awareness to our breath. Yoga is all about that connection between all aspects of our body. Some of the easiest ways to access that connection is through our breath and our physical movement. So take the opportunity to allow yourself to find that anchor of noticing your natural inhales and exhales. Allow that to help bring you into full undivided presence on the yoga mat. Notice your shoulders relaxing down away from your ears. Notice engagement in your abdominal muscles. And if you're noticing maybe a lack of engagement, mindfully bring some there. And when you bring a little bit of integrity and strength to that core, maybe notice how the sensation in your low back changes. As you're ready, we'll release our arms down by our sides. And on your next inhale, sweep them up and overhead into this extended mountain variation of a posture. Reach your fingertips up towards the sky while also keeping those shoulders relaxed down away from your ears. Full inhale here. And exhale, cactus those arms open, lifting your heart space and your gaze. Inhale, make your way back to this extended mountain posture. And let's flow here. Move with your breath. I would even invite you to look away from the screen if you've been looking at it at all. A lot of times, kind of subconsciously in yoga classes, try to stick right alongside the instructor, the teacher. And that really encourages us to use our movement to dictate our breath instead of really allowing our natural breath pattern to be in control of how our body moves. So wherever you are, take one more inhale to extended mountain. One more exhale to this nice heart-opening posture to start our practice. And then inhale, rise back up. And exhale, release your hands. We're going to make our way to child's pose. So from hero's pose, we're going to shift our weight forward. Walk our hands forward slightly. Split your knees as wide as it feels comfortable. So you can bring them to the width of your yoga mat, but if that's not feeling comfortable in your body, you can keep them a little bit closer. Toe mounds still touch, the tops of our feet are still in the earth. And then slowly sink those hips back and down, almost like hero's pose, but this time we're going to fold forwards, bringing our forehead down to the earth. Now, if the earth is feeling really far away this morning, grab that same prop. Bring it underneath your forehead to bring the earth a little bit closer to you. If it feels good in your body, maybe lift up onto your fingertips or press into your fingertips or palms to send your hips down and back a little bit further. Full inhale here. Exhale, walk your hands over to the left side of the mat. Your right hand could even come on top of your left. And then slowly sink your forehead back down. On your inhales, notice expansion through that right rib cage, that entire right side body. Inhale, return to center. And exhale, take it to the other side. So again, hands can come next to each other about shoulder distance, or you could bring your left hand to rest on top of your right. On your next inhale, come back to center. We're going to make our way to Sphinx pose. So from here, let's bring our knees back under our hip points. Begin to come down onto your forearms, elbows under shoulders, and then slowly extend your legs back. Drop the tops of your legs down onto the earth, tops of your feet really grounding into your mat. And from here, begin to find a little bit of lift. So we're reaching our heart space forward and up, feeling the sensation here between our shoulder blades. If you're feeling any pinching, any compression in your low back, gently pull through your palms to find length through your lower spine. Nice long neck. You could even send your gaze past your left shoulder and then past your right shoulder. Keep grounding down through the tops of those feet to help you. This is an active posture. One more full inhale and exhale, release. From here, let's shift our body over to the right side of the mat. We're going to extend our left arm long, and it can be about in line with your shoulder, or maybe scoot it up an inch or two. From here, press into your right palm and roll onto that left shoulder. So you're going to come to stack your right shoulder over your left, right rib cage over your left, right leg is even stacked on your left leg. Check in here. If this is too much sensation, you can bring your right knee forward and come out of this posture a little bit more. If you're looking for more sensation, maybe you keep that right knee bent, but bring the sole of your foot to the mat behind you. Take a moment here, sending your loving breath to the points in your body where you're feeling a lot of sensation, and it's most likely going to be in your chest and shoulder area. Inhale, unwind. If it feels good, you can rest your forehead on the back of your right hand, and you could consider bending into your left arm, bringing the back of your hand to your low back. Just take a nice full breath exchange or two here. Let's make our way to the other side of the mat. So scoot on over to the left long edge of your mat, and then extend your right arm out to the side. And now again, your arm could be about kind of parallel with the front short edge of the mat, but you could lift it up an inch or two. And from here, press into your left palm, roll on to that right shoulder, and then find what feels good. So maybe you're bending into this left knee, and we're really taking some of the stress out of our chest and shoulder. Or maybe we're pressing a little bit more into that left palm to open up, just if we're looking for a little bit more intensity. You could also play with the position of your left hand. You could even bring it in a bind behind your back. Don't forget to breathe. On your next inhale, unwind from this posture. And from here, you can also rest your head on the back of your left hand, bend into that right elbow, bring the back of your hand to your low back. One more full breath in. Release that breath completely. And we're going to make our way back to hands and knees. So let's bring our forearms back in contact with the mat, elbows under shoulders. Bring a little bit of engagement to your core as you tuck your toes, lift your belly off of the mat, scoot those knees in, and then bring your hands or your palms to the mat. As you're ready, we're going to step our right foot through, send our hips forward and down, coming into a nice low lunge. This is also a great place for your support surface. And so as we settle into this hip flexor stretch, sometimes it's uncomfortable to also open up through our chest. And so sometimes just having something that we can ground our hands down into, or even our fingertips, can be a little bit, can just be helpful. Toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels better in your body. If it feels good, you could even sweep your arms up and overhead for a moment. For our last full inhale. And then on our exhale, begin to straighten through your right leg, rock onto your right heel, right toes pointed up towards the sky, if you can see. And we're going to come into this half splits posture. So imagine that you're sitting on the wall behind you. Find a little bit of lift in your sitting bones. And now again, I have my hands on a nice support surface. But if you don't have one, you could bring your hands to rest gently on your thighs, or maybe your fingertips down on the earth if it's available to you. The only thing we want to try to avoid is just a lot of rounding in our upper back body. And so sometimes for those of us who are feeling really tight in our hamstrings and low back today, the prop can be helpful. At the bottom of your next exhale, send your hips forward and down again. We're going to make our way to the other side. So plant those fingertips, step it back, and send your left foot forward and through. Settle into this nice hip flexor stretch. And bring your hands wherever they're comfortable. You can even bring them to rest on your thigh and press gently to open up through your heart space. If you're finding that you are wobbling a lot in your low lunges or even your high lunges, one thing you can do is imagine hugging your thighs towards each other. It's going to bring a little bit of stability in your low body, and you should feel a little bit less of that wobbling. One more full breath in. You could even sweep those arms up and overhead, reaching up for the sky. And then exhale, find that half splits posture on this side. So take your time. Use any props that you need. Shoulder blades are really flat on our back body, almost like they're trying to slide down and reach your hips. Nice long neck. Sometimes there's a tendency to really flex or extend into this neck. Try to avoid holding any tension there. We hold enough tension there during the day. Notice where you feel the sensation of the stretch. Hopefully it's in the belly of your muscle. If it's towards your hip bone or towards your knee bone at all, come out of this posture a little bit. We want to keep our body safe. At the bottom of your next exhale, we'll make our way back to our low lunge. Let's plant our hands, and we're going to make our way onto our back body. So you can get there any way you'd like. I'm going to cross my ankles and send my weight over into seated. And then from seated, I'm going to grab the back of my hamstrings and slowly lower down. But you could also plant your forearms down just to help you as you make your way down. Take a moment to get situated. You can also grab your comfort prop and bring it behind the back of your head, as long as your shoulder blades can stay grounded down into the mat. From here, both of the soles of your feet are rooted onto the earth. Bend into your right knee a little bit more so that you can cross your right ankle at the bottom of your left thigh. Find some flexion in your ankle to protect your knee. And then we're going to come into whatever reclined figure four feels best for you. So maybe we're hanging out here, gently letting our knee fall away from our body. If that's not enough sensation in your body, feel free to grab behind your left hamstring and pull your thigh towards your chest. If you'd like a little bit more sensation, but it's challenging for you to reach your hamstring, you could also grab any household belt or light hand towel just to give your arms a little bit of extra length. You could play with extending that left leg if that feels good in your low back. Shoulder blades are still down on the ground. One more full breath exchange. And exhale, release your left foot down. We're going to release our right foot as well, but our right foot is going to come to this kind of half bound angle posture. So my heel is in line with my tailbone and my right knee is just falling open to the side. From here, I am actually going to bring my right foot between my left foot and my left sitting bone and draw my heel towards my hip. So you can peek up at the video if that helps. Take a moment, Notice how this feels in your body. You could even bend a little bit more and hug that left knee towards your chest. Take a couple more breaths. On your next exhale, release that left knee if you've taken that additional part of the posture. Unwind your right foot. Let's take that whole thing to the other side. So make your way to your figure 4 version, the one of your choice, the one that feels best in your body. And wherever you choose to go with this posture, just make sure that you're drawing the top of your foot towards your shin. It's about this 90-degree angle in your ankle. If it doesn't feel good to extend your right leg, another option is just to point and flex into your right ankle, or maybe even do some ankle rolls. Sometimes that can feel like a good option as well. One more full inhale. Exhale, release the sole of your foot down to the earth. Uncross that left foot. And then we're going to take that kind of weaving posture that we did before. And so the bottom of my foot, my sole of my foot is going to be in line with the center of my body. And my left knee is just going to fall open to the side. If it feels good, send the sole of your foot through that space, almost like you're threading the needle in that revolved child's pose, and draw your heel towards your sitting bones. If you feel a lot of sensation, stop. It's going to look different in everybody's body. But if it does feel good, you're more than welcome to bend into that right knee a little bit deeper, bringing that right knee towards your chest. You may feel a lot of sensation here in this in hip flexor inner lining of your groin and hip space. That whole general area, you know what I'm talking about. You probably feel what I'm talking about. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, release your knee if you took this option and unwind from this posture. We're going to take a quick recline twist. And so cactus your arms out to the side. Shift your hips over a couple inches to the right and then let your knees fall to the left. If you're noticing that as your knees fall, your right shoulder just pops up off of the earth, really intentionally try to root it back down. So maybe you could send your gaze past your right shoulder. You could also bring one of your supportive props under your left knee, or maybe between your left and right knees. Take 3 full breath exchanges. Inhale, unwind. And let's take it to the other side. So shift your hips a few inches to the left, and then let your knees drop to the right. Again, shoulder blades are still flat onto the earth. Sometimes there's a tendency to want to kind of close off here. See if you can find opening through your front body. Take one more full breath in. Exhale to release that breath completely. And then inhale, unwind. Bring your hips back into a natural alignment and make your way to the Shavasana of your choice. So you could extend your legs long and take a typical Shavasana posture, or find what feels good in your body. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. Namaste.